channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today I am giving you my January book blanket update. Now in 2022 I started my book blanket crochet project. She is large and in charge and the ugliest thing I've ever crocheted, I think, or at least one of the ugliest things I've ever crocheted, because there are a lot of things I would have done differently and am doing differently this year. But whatever, it's my pride and joy and I love that blanket, and it's also very comfy, so I've been using the heck out of it. For the 2022 blanket, I was doing a crocheted row for every single genre that I was reading, or every single book that I read, and a color corresponding to a specific genre. So I'm sticking to the color per genre vibe. However, I opted to do granny squares this year instead of crochet rows. I will also say that I was doing some digging and some research, and I think that I'm the first person to do this project. I have seen a lot of people picking it up this year, and I think that it is super cool. While the credit for me has been lost, I actually don't know for a fact if I'm the first one to do it, so it is what it is. But I need to make this video because people are finding my old video and liking it and stuff, and I'm like, no, that blanket's ugly, I have a better one. This one's still coming out ugly though. We're 1 month in and I have regrets. Yep. Anyway, let's talk about this blanket. I am going to move so you can look at it a little bit, and while you look at it, I'm going to remind everyone that the purple colors are fantasy, gray is sci-fi, the hot pink is horror, the baby pink is romance, anything with a white border, not the main white border, is other. For this month it's going to be classics, and anything with that like blue greenish color is going to be thrillers, so our ghost boys there. In January I read 20 books, so you got 20 granny squares, and I spent a total of 16 and a half hours on this, and that's including putting it all together. Now I will say, I did say I was not going to put it all together until like month 3, but if I had waited to do that, I would not have realized that these granny squares are huge. It would not have dawned on me that these granny squares are huge. Now this made sense initially because I was thinking I was going to be reading like how I have been reading. No, I'm not. So that doesn't work. You know what's also unfortunate about that? I have a bunch of granny squares, extras, in this size that I don't need right now. So my new updated plan is that I'm going to do big blocks, and then I'm going to do smaller blocks as kind of a border around for whatever month, and then whenever the border is done, I'll do large blocks again. That way I'm not wasting any yarn or any time and effort that I've already put. I did not count the blocks that I've already made and are in a bag and not on this. I did not count those because, like, in the time, because that would be silly. So I also can't give you like a cost, because yes, I have bought a few skeins of these colors already, needed to go back to the store and buy a few, but I also made a bunch of larger granny squares that I am not using, so technically those skeins didn't actually go towards the project yet. So I can't really give you a cost estimate just yet on this, but I would guess that of the fantasy and horror, I have used at least 1 skein, for sure, maybe 2, but definitely at least 1, and for the rest of them, only 1 skein. I also have no concept of size, and so even when I was layering them to see if the size was correct, obviously they weren't all the same size. That's okay. I'm figuring things out. That's kind of why I wanted to do granny squares, because I feel like it's kind of a standard with crochet and I just simply did not do them when I was teaching myself to crochet. So now I know. I also am using my literal wall to block these because I don't have like a foam blocking board. If I had a foam blocking board, I would use it, but I do not have one, so I am not using it. This also allows me to visualize more effectively how the blocks need to go together and in what pattern, because this was tripping me up. I really wanted to make sure that no colors were touching, like no similar colors were touching, with the exception of diagonals are fine. It's more just like side by side and up and down. I did not want the colors to be touching each other. And that was a little bit tricky for me to figure out. It should not have been, but it was because I have no visualization skills. So once I finally was like, I can put this on the wall, I can figure it out from there, and I can move the blocks around from there, it made things a lot easier. And then once I had everything put up on the wall, I was like, this is too big. So I went ahead and used a large, like a thick white yarn. Now I will say I have 3 different kinds of thick white yarn that I have used for the outside border, but for the inside border I used this like fuzzy kind of wool yarn, and I used that because it's soft. That's really it. And I just used a single crochet for everything, and on the back side it's like you can feel the fuzzy more than you can the like actual yarn, and I think that that is gonna be nice. I might be layering, double layering this, so like I might do some blocks on the back side too. If I am, that's going to change a few things, and I also might just be backing it in general because I don't want like fingers and toes to get caught on stuff, but I haven't really decided on that yet, so we will see. It's kind of been a very fun work in progress. Now, I do want to also say that what hook size I'm using for these bigger blocks. I am using a 3.5 millimeter Susan Bates hook. That is a US 4 or E4? I don't know. I don't know US sizes for hooks because I think they're dumb. And then I have, this one says a US I or 9. For the edges, I am using this Susan Bates 5.5 millimeter. You might notice some ruffling here. I've already figured out how to fix that on the other blocks, so I've sorted it out. I'm not doing it over here. I'm just not doing it over here. I know it will work itself out anyway, so like I'm not stressing myself out about it. I just don't want to stress myself out about it. It seems unnecessary, you know? Just seems unnecessary. So these are the two hooks that I am using for the large blocks. Like I said, my plan is to do large blocks, border, large blocks again, if I can. I also, like I said, did an outline in white. I have already started figuring out February, and based on my TBR, I can show you this because it's not done. This is kind of the size difference that we're going to be doing here, so you get an idea. This is the size difference. It's quite a bit smaller, but it creates a nicer border effect on these, and I'm using a pink yarn on it because I want to. No, because it creates a cool contrast. So it'll be like this. This is kind of what I'm talking about. Push pins are your friends if you're me. Obviously these aren't done, they do need cleanup, etc. But this is what I'm talking about when I mean by border. I know it's kind of cut off at the bottom. You don't really need to see these guys. This is just, this is what I mean. So I'm gonna have it go from this end to this end and then up for February. So anything extra I have, I can go ahead and start running them up. And then in March, I will just continue. April, continue down. And then from there, probably May, I'll start doing big blocks again so that I'm not wasting B blocks that I already made. And I think that'll create kind of a cool contrast, sort of Hobby Lobby, not Hobby Lobby, Holly Hobby-esque quilted mishmash. I don't know if anybody knows who Holly Hobby is, but the old school Holly Hobby, like the old school strawberry shortcake, had like quilted clothing that had like patches, a lot of patchwork on it. Patchwork is the word I was looking for there, in case anybody wondered. A lot of patchwork on it, and I think that that's gonna be the feel here. And I like that because it gives me a lot more wiggle room for error. What I was doing last year's book blanket gave me no wiggle room for error, and that wasn't a good time. It didn't work out well. All in all, though, I'm enjoying this project a lot because I can pick it up whenever, and then once I have the blocks made, I can put it down. And the smaller blocks only take me about 15-20 minutes to make versus the larger blocks that took me about 45 minutes a piece to make, which is crazy. And when I was putting together, I was like, why is this taking so long? And it's because the blocks were so big and I just really did not realize that they weren't supposed to be that large. My bad. I will talk about the details of the smaller blocks and the process with that in February's video, especially as I, at this current moment, do not know how many blocks there's going to be, how long it's going to take, etc. But that's currently my plan. That's currently what I have going on. I have been loving seeing everybody's book blankets or projects around the book blanket idea. I think that they're beautiful and wonderful. I am thoroughly enjoying just seeing them pop up on my For You page on TikTok and stuff, and I'm like, whoa, that's wow. Because I don't, for some reason I don't see when people tag me and stuff, and so sometimes I'm like, oh heck, that's me, you made that because I made one. That's crazy. I think it is such a cool thing that other people are doing, and I am loving seeing everybody else's ideas and blanket updates and all of that. So yes, I need to make my TikTok video almost immediately after making this video, but I just have not had the spoons to do that. So hopefully after I make this, I will go ahead and make that video so I can post it up on everything so people can stop liking the old video, because it wasn't as good as this one. The blanket wasn't as good. The color scheme was not as good. The color scheme, I only had that because the color scheme was from what my reception color scheme was going to be, but then my reception got canceled, so it doesn't even matter, right? This color scheme fits me a lot better. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everything for this book blanket update. I hope that you enjoyed this. I will try and do them every month. I might not do them every month. I'm not really sure because I didn't do this with the big blanket. I only like included an update in the wrap up at the end of the month. So I may or may not continue to do these every month, but I like talking about crochet, and I might, do a crochet wrap up at the end of a month. And if I do that, then I might also include the book blanket in it if I don't have more to say than like what I did this time. This time I just feel like it was long because I hadn't really shown an update about it other than when I talked about what my plans were. So anyway, that's it. That's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Probably very chaotic. It's been a chaotic day. If you are making a book blanket, please let me know. Please tag me. I would love to see it. If you have ever thought about making a book blanket, this is your sign to do it. It's a lot of fun. It is heavily based on the weather blanket that people have made, or mood blankets that people have made. However, I could never keep up with those, so this works for me. I am gonna go though. I post videos every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share if you liked this video. If you didn't like this video, I'm sorry. Can I make it better? If it's me that's the problem, I'm almost 28. This is it. This is my personality now. There's not a whole lot of changing at this point. I'm kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Don't forget to take your meds, drink your water, and do something today to take care of yourselves, please. I know the sun has been gone for a lot of people for a few days, and that's hard. So take care of yourself today. Thank you. Okay, thanks, bye.